one brief line about what exactly we are talking. We are talking about communication research history. Number one thing, we had talked about the starting of communication research. We had talked about how mass society notions were in concern for people, those who were positive about it, those who were negative about it, both. And then during this entire discussion of media being extremely powerful, people were also concerned about doing more scientific research in this area. And here comes the man Paul F. Lazarsfeld. His full name is Paul Felix Lazarsfeld. He was from Austria, and this person, who was coming from a sociological psychological background, he was interested in using scientific means, in using empirical means to figure about the actual power of media. He was of the idea that no doubt what Harold D. Laswell has said and what is happening in the world, that is true, that people during world wars have actually used media extensively to manipulate what normal people, common masses think. But we cannot say anything just on the basis of what we are observing. No matter how correct our observation is, we need to give it proper evidence, proper proof. So with this idea, he flew from Germany. He came to America on Ford Foundation Fellowship in somewhere in 1930s, and he started his experiments in America. He did lot many experiments. He surveyed people, he interviewed people, he observed people, he did proper scientific research along with his entrepreneur skills. He just after coming to America, within 2 3 years, he was the one who established a Bureau for Applied Social Science Research, and along with people like Bernard Bolson, Hazel Goddard, and Hadley Cantrill, he went on to do lot many experiments in America, specifically in the period of late 1930s and early 1940s, that is from 1935 till 1945. He was very active with scientific research. What he did was that he believed in the power of media, but he wanted to prove it with scientific research. And that is why he did specific experiments throughout this period from 1935 till 1945, and on the basis of this he gave the theory of limited effects, which was obviously totally against, totally opposite of what he was thinking to receive in his research. So this also helps us in understanding that it is not compulsory that by the end we are done with our research we'll be receiving what we expect to receive at the end of our research. We might end up receiving something totally different. So he started with the idea that media is powerful, and I will be generating, or I will be collecting evidence in support of this argument. As Harold de Lassell, one of the most famous researchers of this period of 1920s and 30s, he has also observed that media is powerful. Media could be possibly used as a manipulative tool. Media could be used as a propaganda tool. So he started his experiments with the famous experiment, which is also known as War of the Worlds, or the name is also given the Invasion of the Mars. What he did, he used the theater, that is radio theater, radio channel. The channel name is Mercury Theater on the Air in Orson Welles. He broadcasted a fake radio bulletin based on the novel of H.G. Wells by the same name, War of the Worlds. And with this particular fake bulletin, he wanted to see the reaction of people, that when they hear that their country has been attacked by some alien from Mars, how they react. Do they actually believe in what media is telling them, or do they confirm it with somebody? Do they recheck it, or do they just ignore it by saying it is fake news? How do people react? So he wanted to know the reaction of people after receiving some kind of information from the radio or from any other media. So he used radio as his medium. He broadcasted a fake bulletin. It was more like the dramatization of the novel that was written by H.G. Wells, War of the Worlds, and he dramatized this entire novel through radio bulletin. People started panicking, people started reacting, people started thinking that we have America has actually been attacked by aliens. And this panicking attitude, this entire attitude of being scared was recorded by Paul F. Lazarsfeld. He went on to talk to people, he asked them the questions, and then he listed the data that he was collected, and on the basis of that he gave few conclusion to the world regarding the power of media. The conclusion that he has given was on two bases. One, that when you receive some kind of information from media, the first response could be of panic, but with a little time you start confirming it, you start checking it, you start going to your opinion leaders, you start verifying it through different channels. You will talk to your colleagues, you will talk to your sibling, you will talk to your family members, to your neighborhoods, and you will start judging it whether this news was fake or this news was true. So this is what people do, this is what is the actual reaction of people. They do not just believe what media gives them, they confirm it, they check it, and they, after their checking, after confirming whether it is true or not, then they try to use media information as reinforcing tool. So this was different from what he was expecting. He was expecting that people will believe whatever media is telling them, but people didn't believe, although they did panic in the beginning, because that was more like the immediate effect of what you get from media. For example, if somebody will say that your city is going to be attacked by this group, so the first reaction could be, okay, what is going to happen, what we are going to do. But sooner you will realize that this news could be fake, or even if there could be an attack, we should be just more attentive, we should not go to public places, and then you will start reacting more maturely. So this is what the normal reaction is. So Paul F. Lazarsfeld, along with his other colleagues, those who were there in the research, they figured out that people, they may panic on the basis of immediate response, but they do not believe everything feeded by media. They confirm it with their opinion leaders, they recheck it uh, with their opinion leaders, with people around them. They filter it on the basis of what they actually believe, what they don't believe, and then they accept something which is coming from media. Okay. Okay, so another series of experiments done by the same person, Paul F. Lazarsfeld, along with a very famous sociological researcher Bernard Bolson, and the member of a radio channel from America, Hazel Goddard. These three people, they went on to do very extensive election research in America during the period of 1940 and 1944. What they did is they wanted to know that media which is used by political leaders for their election campaigning, this specific use of media by political leaders for gaining sympathy, for gaining support, does this kind of campaigning affects people opinion about what they will be choosing in election, how they'll be voting, does it impact their voting decision? So they went on to do a very detailed extensive research, and they did two very complex survey. One survey they did in 1940. During the period of 7 months, they interviewed 600 respondents in this region of Erie County, Ohio, America. And on the basis of the interviews that they did, they try to figure out whether the impact of information feeded by media affects the decision of voters or not. And the conclusion, the result of the research was this, that people, they have their own filters. Some of the people will be confirming it with their peer groups, with their opinion leaders means those who hold more importance, whose opinion hold more importance for you than the media which is feeding you the information. For example, your father's opinion matters to you, or maybe your seniors opinions matters to you, your teacher's opinion matters to you. So how they are reacting, it is going to shape how you will be reacting. So they did this entire survey over the period of 7 months in 1940, and back again in 1944 they increased this number of respondents. They went on to interview somewhere around 2000 voters, and it was cross sectional survey. Cross sectional survey means when in during the same period you interview more people over the span of geographical region. Longitudinal survey means when you interview or when you do data collection over a period of time. For example, within a period of 5 years or 10 years or 20 years. Or cross section means when you interview same people over the period of time along with different region. So you increase your geographical span, you go and talk to more people, and on the basis of that you collect your data. So this data collection that they did in 1944, this made them realize that media is not the force which can shape people's opinion, it is the force which can reinforce what is there in the society. Media cannot entirely change what people think. Media can only reinforce what people think, because people, they don't believe in what media says. People, they filter it. Filter means that you, whatever you will be receiving from media, you will cross check it with people, those on whose opinion you believe. Maybe your parents, maybe your siblings, maybe your friends, maybe your neighborhood, maybe your colleagues, maybe your teachers, or maybe a close group with whom you discuss something that you know feel very important to talk about. So these people, they bring their own filters, people they bring their own uses, people they do not get affected by media directly. Media has a very indirect effect on people. Media has effect on the basis of two step. What is the two step flow? The two step flows goes that first, the information is received by opinion leaders. These opinion leaders, they filter the information, and on the basis of what they feel is good enough to be told to common masses, they send it to common masses. So these opinion leaders, they filter out a lot of fake information, they filter out a lot of manipulative information, they filter out a lot of information which they feel is not just a second, which they feel is not much required by people. So this is what happens when you go and you talk to people, you do survey, when you go about collecting the information in support of your argument. This is the use of empirical research, scientific research, that you do not just believe on your observation, you go out and you collect evidence and proof for that. And this is what Paul F. Lazarsfeld did. And the reason why we are talking about him specifically so much in detail is that you need to understand that when we started with this phase of urbanization, when modern means of communication started to be used by people, then we were not clear how to research about media. We were not clear how to talk about the use of media, the power of media, the impact of media. What we could just do is that we could observe and discuss it. But soon people realized that discussing will not be enough. We need to prove it. Just as we prove other things in different fields of research, we need to prove the effect or the use or the impact of media in this field also. We need to generate information, we need to generate evidence, we need to generate proof regarding what we are saying. And people, they started applying other means of research which were more in trend in sociology, in psychology, in anthropological research. They started using such methods in media research also. And that is why the use of cross sectional survey, that is why the use of interviews, that is why the use of more exploratory research, more descriptive research. So people, they started doing such kind of research in the field of mass media, in the field of mass communication, and they started talking about the real power of media. They started understanding that media is not a force which can tell people what to think. This is a force which can tell people what to think about. So this is very different. Okay, you cannot tell them that think positive about this particular thing. You can just tell common people, okay, these are the important areas, try to think about them. So you can give them some kind of idea. You cannot tell them in which direction they have to take that idea. This was the result of the experiments done by Paul F. Lazarsfeld and his team, especially including Bernard Bergson, who was the director of his bureau that was formed by Paul F. Lazarsfeld. And together these people, they somehow ended the argument of mass society. Although in America, specifically during the period of 1940s and 50s, there was a movement by the name Red Scare movement. This movement was the you could say the most influential movement in terms of the role of journalism, in terms of the role of journalism among how people, they will be evolving as a society, as a human race, how they would be reacting to something, how they will be taking responsibility of something, how they would be treating other community members in their near future. So this particular movement, Red Scare movement, was a very important event. Although this didn't happen on one single day, this was more like a movement which went on for years. And this movement is very much related to the negativity that we see against Jewish people, the kind of racism we see in Western countries. And it was also related to the use of media that could be manipulating, but if done in proper ways, this could be the most liberating tool for human race. So we'll be talking about this Red Scare movement tomorrow. Okay.